What's up, everybody? Good morning, good Saturday morning to you. You know what this is. This is AJ Copeland, and this is Topics to Go. Topics to Go. First of all, let me thank everybody for checking out my videos. It's much appreciated. You know, I'm all about community. It's not even about me getting counts or subscribers or numbers or anything like that. I would like for you guys to subscribe to my channel. I would like for you guys to make comments on various topics that I talk about. I don't know everything, but I've lived in this world pretty good time, you know, for a long period of time, and so I got a little wisdom under my belt. So I speak a lot from wisdom, right? And it's life experiences and conversations that I've had with many friends and situations that I've seen on news and research and reading. So if anybody ever question how this guy knows so much, it comes from wisdom, education, life. You live long enough, you'll learn a whole lot if you notice and if you observe and you take things in, you know, and you think things through like I do. I think every situation and circumstance through. Today I want to talk to you about a homeless generation. A homeless generation. I don't think I've ever in my lifetime have seen so many young men and women homeless. I've never seen it. And we want to talk about, you know, I want to discuss with you what gets a person from, how did they get homeless? And I'm going to kind of touch on a few of those things. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, but I want to touch on a few things. Because it could be you or it could be me. Any one of us can become homeless. But when it's in your control, and being homeless was determined by what you did and how you lived your life, that is a choice that you made to be homeless. There are some people out here that are homeless not by choice, but by life circumstances made that happen. Whether it be a loss of a job, loss of a home, loss of transportation, abuse situations, you know, a lot of things go into individuals being homeless. So I'm going to break it down like this: homeless by choice and homeless because of circumstances. And that's how we're going to look at it today. The first thing I want to talk about is homeless by choice. Is when individuals' priorities are all in the wrong place. When individuals value substance and addictions over housing. Now, if you are a person that don't work, don't like to work, and always trying to find someone to take care of you, always trying to find someone to do things for you, you are a person that's subject to becoming homeless if you're not already. Keep that in mind. You are a person that is subject to becoming homeless if you're not already. If you're an individual that are of various addictions, whether it be sex addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, you're subject to become homeless. That's by choice. The two situations that I mentioned is by choice. The third situation, which is when we want to talk about mental, could be slightly by choice, but also by circumstances. So I'm going to touch on that a little later. Now let's look at the circumstances that can cause someone to be homeless. Circumstances that can cause somebody to be homeless is when they lose things. When they lose their jobs, which is the foundation because if you don't have any money coming in, you can't pay your rent or your mortgage. So that's subject to lose your home, to lose your car. Divorce can also play a role in someone becoming homeless. Okay. Abuse can also play a role in someone becoming homeless. So though that is being homeless under circumstances, that's understandable. But usually when somebody is homeless under circumstances, they're working on trying to get from being homeless. They're working on trying to get out of that situation. They're consistently doing things to get them out of that situation because it's not a very comfortable position for them to be in, and they don't like it. So that could be individuals that is homeless under circumstances. Now, however, those that are homeless by choice could be somewhat lazy and refusing to work on the problem because they want to find the easy way out. Okay? You know, if I can just get this person to let me move in with them and I'd be good, you know. I don't have to work. All I got to do is just, you know, and I talk about this in one of my videos. This could be a person that sell their bodies and different things like that, just to have a place to stay, just somewhere to lay their head because they don't want to work. And then, you know, some say, well, you know, I can't find a job. I got a felony on my record. I got this on my record. See, there are things that you can do. And I tell people this. When there is no work that anyone else can offer you, you need to consider, how can I create a job for myself? What is it about me? What talents do I have? What gifts do I have? And I'm not talking about illegal stuff, which most of us turn to. I'm not talking about, you know, prostitution or anything like that. I'm talking about, what skills do you have? What education do you have? What talents do you have? Where you can take those things and create something for yourself. I don't care if it's getting out there selling a t-shirt where you say, I may not have no money. Let me tell you something. If you let people know what you're trying to do and they know your circumstances and the situation that you're in, and you let them know that, look, I'm trying to get out of this situation and I got this great idea, and they taking you serious and they can see some action moving forward with the statements that you make, people will be willing to help you. But the problem is, there's too many scammers out here and liars out here where people don't trust everybody when they come to them about their issues and their problems. Because it's just too much. It's just like when I ride the train or the bus and you got people get on the train all the time begging, you know, and you can tell those that are mentally disturbed, and you can tell those that are just scammers. They're just trying to find an easy dollar. They don't want to work. They just want to get an easy dollar. And you can tell those that are on the train and make extra money, you know, selling candy chips and different things like that, because maybe they have a felony on their record and they can't get a job. They're being creative. So they have to do what they have to do to make some money. So they're being creative. But then you got those individuals that take their children or their girlfriend's children and put them on the street and trying to hustle them and have them trying to raise money and get money up and all that stuff. So, but that's for another subject, another topic. Since I'm on homeless, I got to stay. But all this is connected. Everything that I am mentioning right now is connected one way or another. Now let's touch on mental illness. Now, you know, I said earlier in the video that mental illness could be by choice or it could be in a circumstance. Now, when I say by choice, what I mean is there are certain mental illnesses that does not hurt a person in a way where they cannot live, you know, normally. In other words, they have some of their mental capacity where they can perform certain duties. They're not totally gone or totally lost. There are certain mental illnesses that can be helped. And these individuals know they have these situations, but they're not willing to go out and get the help that they need. They turn to substance abuse to help them with the real problem. The real problem is the mental illness, depression, severe chronic depression, mild depression, bipolar, all these various things that are mental illnesses. And people choose substance abuse to help them with those mental illnesses rather than finding a different outlet. And this situation can also cause you to be homeless because your reality is not factual, and that you're always pointing the finger in a different directions than where you should be looking at. And It's hard to maintain a job when you suffer with depression. It's hard to maintain a place to stay when you suffer with depression. It's hard to maintain relationships when you suffer with depression. There's a lot of things that goes on when a person have depression, and if they don't get those situations taken care of, it can cause an issue. The sun is just coming up. Y'all see what's going on with my shirt? I'm right here, in front of the blind or whatever. But these are the things that can happen in people's lives. So when I talk about a homeless generation, I'm giving you circumstances that can get you homeless. Because check this out. Individuals haven't always been homeless. Let's check that out. Individuals haven't always been homeless. Everybody have had a place to stay one time or another. You haven't always been on the street because you were born, in this earth with parents. And those parents had a place for you to stay. Now, there are rare circumstances where children were born into families where the mother or the father or both were homeless. And then the system has to get involved at that point. And we all know the systems is not always a positive scenario for a child or for a baby. I mean, the system have so many children until they're not able to help and provide in a way that the child need that help, And what I mean is they're not able to monitor every situation in every child. That's why you have circumstances where children have been abused within the system, where children have been lost within the system. So the system is not always a great choice or benefit for children. Okay? So let's not forget that. Now, I talked about the homeless situation. How can you get from being homeless? First, you have to deal with the underneath problem, the main problem. See, you getting housing and still got some problems and some issues is not going to solve the problem because you're going to end up homeless once again. And if you're dealing with abuse situations and mental situations and depression situations and situations that you haven't forgotten, rejection and insecurities and all this stuff that is going on in your life, and you're trying to deal with it on the surface and not dealing with the hidden situations that are going on the inside, it's going to be like a evolving door. It's going to keep happening over and over and over and again. I mean, have you ever run across a person that is the same story every year? Every year it's the same story. Their life never changed. It seems like they go through the same thing over and over every year. They never ever really have a stable place to stay. They never can keep a job. They never can maintain anything positive going on in their life, and it's always the problem. And when you have these conversations with these individuals, they're always pointing the finger at somebody else. We have to begin to look in the mirror and check ourselves out, y'all. Let me tell you something. When I do this video, don't think for a moment that some of these subjects and conversations and topics that I have I'm not thinking of having myself in mind, because I'm always looking in the mirror and check me first. I check me first before I even do these videos, because some of these things I can relate and I understand. That's why I'm able to talk about them the way I do. And I have close friends and individuals that I met throughout my life, and circumstances and situations that I'm very familiar with. And as I watch news and read newspapers and stories and headlines and all this kind of stuff, it just gives you a picture of what's going on in this world and what's going on in people's lives. And that's why I'm able to do these videos. And everybody are not gifted to do these type of things. But this is my purpose in life, and that's what I do. But I want to tell you something. I have experienced being homeless. I was homeless for 2 weeks. I know what it is to be homeless, but I also know what it is to say, this is not me.